Okay, here's the second version of the Red Team Field Manual based upon the Linux console program I made a few years back. It's very similar. We have an attack flow, we have a remote enumeration, we have web-specific enumeration, and exploit tools. And each tool can be expanded based upon, it's parameterized, so it's based upon the session information. So here's the IP address, and it collects services and information throughout the process once you run commands, so it's aware of what's going on and what it has. We can add comments to each command, which helps with an attack narrative when you create the report, so we can tell the customer why we're running that command, or what's the output, or what's the purpose of it. And then we can run these commands and you'll have output here. Each command is tracked here. This is markdown that can be generated for a report. And as we run these commands, we can keep track of them here. And we can run quicker commands as well. Let's see. And we can see we can open up each process within an emulated window so that we can see output and then run further commands. And then we also have a command helper, so that as we type, we can run all these commands here. And these commands are based upon, it's data driven, based upon tools that are installed by default on Kali. So then we could execute that if we wanted to. Run a Windows box, so this won't work. And these commands will take a little longer. If we wanted to, we could open them up as well, see what the output will be, or we could just kill them if we wanted to. Beyond the attack flow, we have specific tools, and these are a list of all the tools that are available in Kali. And this is data driven as well. And they're categorized by the same category that Kali has them. So enumeration, vulnerability scan, exploits, web, stress tests, forensics, blah, 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 blah. Templates, this is a templated attack, so we could do a run through of the current state of what we know that machine to be on. So we know that this machine has a number of different services, so it'll run different tools based upon what services it sees or what it's aware of. It won't run it now because these tools rely on Kali and I'm on a Windows box. But this is an example of the tools that it would be running. It fails right away because there's no search exploit. Haven't created the word list creator yet, but that's on the to-do list. Also, this is data driven based upon local port, remote port, and the IP address. And then we can decide, okay, what reverse shell do we want? We can just copy and paste that. And then I have a data generator tool that also creates the tools, the checklists, and the reverse shell. So this would be an example of that reverse shell. And you can see it's parameterized. So the target is the IP address, which again we can change. And then our port, it's right here. And we can easily add any number of reverse shells if we wanted to, add a description to them. And this will generate JSON, which is loaded by the RTFM tool. Same thing with code snippets. This is parameterized as well. So we can see a username and password here, and we can modify those. So if we have a PowerShell, we have an argument here, we can just say, we'll just say Sam. And we have Sam here. It populates it for us. We can just copy and paste this if we needed to. Checklists. This first iteration of the checklist just has one profile, but I'm going to have multiple profiles, so I can have an updated checklist and I can do a select from it. But this is just a simple, Windows escalation, for example, and it'll do a run through of what to look for. So here's some documentation. Okay, I've done that. I can add notes if I wanted to, and these notes are also added into the report as well. And then basic information gathering, some commands to run, and then have I done them, have I not? And I can close this out, close the session, open the session back up, and it'll keep the state whether I've done this or not, so that I know where I left off on and what to do and how to continue. Search exploit will, this is just a graphical representation of search exploit. Can't run on Windows though, so this would be something I can demo on a Linux box. And then I am going to have this connect to other users so that we could have multiple people collaborate on a single machine. So any commands that someone runs, we'll receive it on both clients in real time, so we can see what pentester A is done and pentester B is done, and the output will be here as well, and the state. So if I find a new service, that service will be replicated on both ends, so that we're both aware of that. This is a console again, so we can run, just whatever tools. So this is run locally. I can also do other tools as well. And then this report is what I'm working on. This will create a markdown based upon timestamps, comments on tools, and services ran, things of that nature. This is another tool. So this is the tool I'm using for data generation. There's different profiles for tools. So there's a Windows profile, and then there's a Unix or Kali profile. And so I'll be able to add commands and add a description. This can be replicated in the report. Here's an example of how to use it. Categorize them all. And then if there's any parser that I'm going to put output to, I can run that. And each parser makes the tool aware of the data. That's all I got.